Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dwayne Roberts here. I'm coming to you live from Marketing and Conversion. And today, I want to talk about what you can do in order to absolutely crush your 2021 goals, right? So, one of the first things that I want to talk about is the importance of a positive attitude and mindset. Now, if you're the type of person that just heard me say that and you're thinking to yourself, here we go again with mindset, then you are absolutely the person that I need to speak with, because mindset is everything. So before we actually get into today's training, I want to share with you a few brief stories to set the framework for the rest of the conversation this evening. All right. So most people, for the most part, have dreams, hopes, and visions. Dreams, hopes, and visions. Now, those visions turn into goals. So they go from dreams, hopes, and visions to dream, hopes, and goals. And while they're doing that, it's a process that stirs that feeling that you have inside. Let me give you an example. There once was a guy, and his lifelong ambition was to be an author. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be an author, so he writes this book. And he takes the book and he sends it out to several publishers at the time. And slowly but surely, he started getting these rejection notices in the mail. Rejected, rejected, rejected. Now, for the average person, if you spent 10 years, by the way, I failed to mention that, it took him 10 years to write his first novel. 10 years, and he sends this book in, and then next thing you know, you get rejection notice after rejection notice. Sometimes there's language like, you're never going to be an author, give it up, this isn't your thing. The average person is going to get frustrated with that. But he had a dream, a hope, and a goal. One dream, one hope, one goal, or a vision. So rather than being discouraged, and by the way, he worked at a laundromat folding sheets. That was his full-time job. So rather than being discouraged, he continued to send the manuscript in for the next 10 years. So if you're doing the math, that is 10 years to write the manuscript and then 10 years to send the manuscript in before he got his first big break. But he would get rejection notice after rejection notice after rejection notice. What were you guys doing 10 years ago? Did you take a listing appointment and you didn't get the sale? And you got all depressed? Things we're going to talk about tonight. So for 10 years, he had a dream, a hope, and a vision. And finally, but only after he received what he thought was going to be his absolutely last rejection notice, he took the manuscript and he threw it in the trash. And it was his wife, and his wife alone, that picked up that manuscript and said, honey, continue to send this book in. It's a great book. That book was Carrie by Stephen King. One dream, one goal, one vision. There's a guy, and all he wanted to do was be a comedian. And his style of comedy was so bad that oftentimes he would literally get booed off stage and or confronted after the stage. And actually one time in Atlanta, Georgia, he was confronted after the stage and he was literally beat up. But his entire life, all he wanted to do was to become a comedian. So if you know the life of a comedian, you're going around from dive bar to dive bar, from comedy strip to comedy strip, hoping to get a break. He did this for 15 years. 15 long, hard, working for tips, barely paying the bills years. But one day, there was a scout from a show that was starting called In Living Color. That is when Jim Carrey's entire career took off. One dream, one goal, one vision. And the last story I want to share with you is from a young lady whose father worked in a chemical factory. And when her father was working in this chemical factory, he accidentally spilt some chemicals inside a jar of cream that she had. not wanting to waste the cream. By the way, this girl's 14 years old. She takes it and she mixes it up and she applies it on her face. Well, what she realized is that cream made her face smooth. So she felt that she had a product and she wanted to tell other people about it, and she didn't know how to market this thing. But what she did is she took Gerber baby food jars and she ripped off the label, put this white creamy substance in, and literally went door to door exclaiming, "My father spilled some chemicals in there and you just try it on and put it on your face." Now this is way back in the 40s. So let me ask you a question. If a young lady came to your doorstep right now and had Gerber baby food jar with the label ripped off it with some white creamy substance and said, "Hey, put this on your face because it's going to make it feel smooth because my father put some chemicals on there," are you going to be warm and open in your checkbook to this young lady, or are you probably going to shut the door? Do you think she ever had the cops called on her? You better believe it. Now, she knew that her lucky break would come if she could just get inside a department store. If she could just get inside a department store, which was Macy's at the time. It's not like if we can get on Shark Tank today or get into Walmart, we've got it made. So for her, she knew if she can get in Macy's, it was over. She peddled this product for 13 years. 13 years before she decided that, hey, if I get it into Macy's. Guys, a lot of you are already thinking about quitting real estate and you haven't really begun. One dream, one goal, one vision. So she goes to the department store manager and says, "Hey, here's where I am. This is what I have." She explained the whole entire story. Now, do you think that Macy's department store was going to open her with welcome arms and let her come in there and set up and sell her product to their customers? Put in the comments right now if you think that Macy's just opened up the red carpet and said, "Come on, sell your baby food jars that your father spilled chemicals in." Of course not. But she was persistent. She didn't allow that to affect her attitude. So she went back for the next 5 years every season. Summer, spring, fall, Christmas. Every season she went to the department head manager and said, "Please just let me set up. If you let me set up, I'll never ask you again." 3 years later, finally on a Christmas holiday, the store manager said, "Look, here's the deal. I'm going to let you set up. But you have one shot and one shot only, but never ask me again. Do we agree?" And she said yes. This was her chance and she took it. She would literally chase women to the elevator exclaiming, "How do you know unless you try it?" That woman was Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder has the most powerful cosmetic chain in the entire world. One dream, one goal, one vision. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because you have a dream, a goal, and a vision. There is a reason that you decided to get involved with real estate. For some of you, it was time freedom. For others, it was unlimited income potential. For others, they just wanted to spend more time with their family. I want you to think about right now the reason you got involved with real estate. Did you have a dream? Did you have a goal? Is the vision that you're experiencing right now the way you thought it was going to go when you got your license? Or did you get your license and then quickly realize that once you burnt through your warm market that this is a hard gig? Are you making everything that you want to make in this business? And if not, why not? One dream, one goal, and one vision. According to the National Association of Realtors, 85% of agents are going to retire their license within the first 18 months. Why? Did they meet their goal? Did they accomplish their vision? No. I'm going to tell you why right now. Because they weren't trained in how to do this business. Real estate school only prepares you to pass the test. Nothing more, nothing less. But then when you get out into the real world, you got to figure this gig out. But a lot of agents have not been personally developed to the point where they will allow that negativity to roll off their shoulders. And some of the things we're going to talk about today to get your right mindset to be able to crush 2021. Yes, believe it or not, the only thing that's stopping you from doubling or even tripling your production is you. It is not the leads. It is not the systems. It's not your magical CRM system. It's not your magical company. It's not EXP or Keller Williams, Long and Foster. It is you. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do to help change your mindset to go into 2021 and absolutely crush it. You see, successful people often desire to become successful, and if you ask them why they're successful, they have a common denominator. And that common denominator is that they would not allow the possibility for defeat. It didn't exist. It wasn't an option. They were going to make whatever they were doing, and they were going to make it successful. See, we've heard before that success is a journey, right? It's not the actual destination. It's what you do during that journey that makes all the difference with your success. Now, but the average person is afraid of change. The average person is afraid to go knock on that door, or to attend that chamber meeting, or to present that listing presentation, or to meet a stranger and go over a buyer's presentation, because they're afraid of change, and they're afraid of the key word, which is what? Rejection. The average person is afraid of rejection. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you allow that negativity to come into your life, you're going to start feeding your brain. And feeding your brain sometimes is not a good thing. Let me tell you what I mean by that. See, I'm going to tell you something today you probably never heard before. Your brain is not yours. What? You heard me right. Your brain is not yours. Your brain has been in development for hundreds and thousands of years. And your brain is not designed to make you prosperous. Your brain is not designed to make you wealthy. Your brain is not designed for you to meet your dreams, hopes, and goals. Your brain is designed for one reason and one reason only: survival. So when you do things against the grain, a lot of times your brain kicks in and says, you can't do it, I'm not good enough, I'm too fat, I'm not eloquent enough, I can't be on camera, I can't do YouTube videos, I can't own my town, because your brain has got in the way and started putting negativity into your life. And I want to show you today a few of the practical things that you can do in order to overcome that. And then at the end, I'm going to provide you two things. I'm going to provide you a workbook and a worksheet to help you guys work through some of these problems, because until you fix the mindset, you're unable to hit those dreams, those hopes, and those visions that you had when you first started real estate. So the first thing I want to talk about is understanding why I can't and what that really means. There is ways that you can improve your life, your career, your business, your team, your production, but you've got to get all that garbage out of your head. You have to realize that most people underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. Overestimate what they accomplish in a year, but underestimate what they can actually accomplish in a decade. You have got to get the words "I can't" completely out of your vocabulary. The option simply does not exist. Now, here's a few things that you can do in order to reprogram your brain. Okay, the first one is you cannot take criticism or mistakes personally. The most successful people out there take criticism well, and they learn to make adjustments if necessary in order to get better. So if someone is where you want to be, then take their advice. Example, ladies, men, would you take weight loss advice from a fat person? Comment now, right now below. Yes, I went there. I'm not politically correct. Would you take weight loss advice from someone who is overweight? Of course you wouldn't. Then why are you taking financial advice from your broke friends? You want to make $40,000, $50,000 a month in real estate? then you need to get with somebody who makes $40,000 to $50,000 a month in real estate. And I promise you, some of the things they're going to tell you to do is going to sound unusual. Some of the things they're going to tell you to do, your brain's going to go, that's never going to work. But you have to surround yourself around positive people and people that are doing what you want to do in order to get what they've got. Because if you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to continue to get what you've always got. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to take criticism and your mistakes, do not take them personally. And the second thing is always find ways to improve your skills. Did you go to a listing presentation and it didn't go exactly the way you wanted it to? Are you walking away from that presentation? Are you taking notes? Are you revisiting that entire listing presentation in your mind? Are you paying attention to when the body language shifted? Are you paying attention to the point where you thought you got the listing and then they said, well, we've got other agents that we have to interview? You know what that means? That means you lost. I don't lose listing presentations because I have confidence. When I go in front of that listing presentation, I guarantee you I got a 99.99999% chance I'm walking away with it. But that's because I don't show up haphazardly. I have my data. I have my numbers. I walk and talk with complete confidence, but I wasn't always that way. I had to learn that if I talk with authority, then I'm going to be the leader, and people follow leaders. But leaders are typically the ones that get the most arrows in the back because they're leading the way. So you have to always find ways to improve your skills. So if something doesn't go the way that you want it to, if you picked up the phone and you called a lead and the lead's like, I'm not interested. We were just curious. And you don't know exactly what to say, when to say it, how to respond. If that's not pre-programmed in your mind, then you've already lost. It has to become myelin. You think your job starts when you pick up the phone. Your job starts when you get an objection. The last person talks actually wins. What are you going to say? How are you going to say it? Let me give you an example before I move on. Let's say that you wanted to be a heart surgeon. I promise you that before you cut open somebody, you probably went through a couple cadavers. You probably noticed every vein, every muscle that was in that body, right? And when it got to the point where you were skilled and confident enough that you're going to perform open heart surgery, you're not cracking that chest cavity and then going, nurse, what vein is that? You know that, or you better. Because it is your livelihood. It is your profession. It is your business. It is how you make money. Well, with real estate, it's the same exact thing. When someone says, I have an agent. When someone says, I was just curious. When someone says, we're just playing around on the internet. When someone says this, someone says that. What are you going to say? How are you going to say it? Listen, there's only two reasons in the world people would ever fill out a form online to become a lead. Reason number one, they watch way too much HGTV. They're not planning on doing anything. Ever. They're wasting your time. They're wasting their own time. They are habitual house surfers. We want to identify who they are and get them out of your pipeline just as quick as we possibly can. But you're looking for reason number two. Reason number two is something has them looking into their options. Somebody's living in an apartment and it's too small. They just found out that the wife or girlfriend is pregnant. Somebody is living in an HOA and they can't put the bicycle in the front yard without getting a letter and they're tired of it. Somebody is driving too far to work and by the time they get home the kids are in bed and the commute's killing them. There's a reason that people start going online looking at things or respond to your advertisements. It's up to you to be personable enough to draw out of them what that reason is. And let's face a few facts. If someone is serious, like they're going to buy a property, they're going to Zillow and Realtor.com and your website and Joe Blow's website, etc., etc. And what do every last one of these websites do? They make you give your name and your phone number, right? To get access to the homes. So they're getting blown up with 6 to 10 different agents. So by the time you actually get them on the phone, they go, we're not interested. That doesn't mean they're not interested. It means that they're not interested in you. Yeah, that might have hurt a little bit, right? So what are you doing different to get something different? Are you approaching every other lead the same way every other agent does? Because if you continue to do what you've been doing, you're going to continue to get the same result. There is a system, a process, a procedure, a 1, 2, 3, 4 paint by numbers approach that if you do it this way, you're going to increase the likelihood that you're going to stand out different than the other agent, and they're going to want to do business with you. Now, the next thing I want to teach you about is the problem that you have, and I want you to break it up into pieces. So in other words, when you are struggling with an area in your business, no matter what that is, rather than confronting the entire thing, Facebook ads, rather than trying to learn anything and everything about Facebook ads over a weekend, let's start with the basics and learn one little segment and get good at that, and then learn another segment, and then get good at that, so on and so forth. You don't have to learn everything overnight, but you should always be learning things to improve your business. So when you go to a business conference, don't try to implement everything that you learned. Learn 1 or 2 things in that conference that you can apply to your business. Okay? And then the last one is to learn to delegate what you don't want to do to qualified experts. Let's face a few facts. Real estate, it is a sales job. Real estate is 80% marketing, 20% mechanics. But for some people, they don't like marketing, and that's okay. For some people, they just want to talk to people, help them, and as long as they have a client that raises their hand that says, hey, I want to go see property, or I'm thinking about selling my house, they're the best agents in the entire world. But when it comes to marketing, sometimes they're not as sharp because it's just not in their tool set. So rather than trying to figure that all out from scratch, why don't you just get with a person, a company, a system that's already done it for you that you can plug in, where it's simply plug and play, so you can do what's best for you, which is be an agent. All right? So don't be scared to try new things. Don't be scared to go to those chamber meetings. Don't be scared to go to other networking events. Don't be scared to do listing presentations. Don't be scared to do Facebook ads. Without these things, your business isn't going to grow. Now, I want to talk now about the media's mind trap, okay? So if you guys haven't figured it out yet, the media doesn't like to report anything good. It doesn't sell. So a lot of people get caught up on Facebook feeds and news media outlets, and they allow all those things to go into your brain. And if you think that the world's coming to an end and all is gloom and doom, then your brain is going to react appropriately to that, and it's going to be difficult to take you and your business to the next level. The only thing that is stopping you from doubling or tripling your business is you. So what can you do in order to change that? All right, so maybe you've had too many disappointments in your life and you're really frustrated. Maybe you're physically tired of trying. Maybe, there's just too much competition in your area and agent A or agent B is just blowing up everywhere and you think that you can't compete with that person. That's not true. When I first got involved with real estate, okay, I'm embarrassed to admit this a little bit, but hey, this is the truth. From the time I got licensed, we had to wait about 3 weeks for the actual license to come in from the Tennessee Real Estate Commission. I was out there showing properties without an MLS key, slipping the darn lock, writing offers. I had 6 deals under contract before my license even showed up from the darn state, because I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I had no training. I had no nothing. What I did know is that when I sold a deal, I made about $5,000. And I wanted to sell as many deals as I can. So I found people that raised their hand that says, I want to own a house. I said, I'm your guy. Let's go and find a house. So sometimes it's difficult for me to understand why agents have such a hard time in this business. But that's why I've built my business and I teach agents how to duplicate my success. I would close 75 to 100 transactions a year. So if you're not closing a bare minimum of 3 to 4 transactions every single month, I want to help you out. If you'll put in the comments below, type the word increase. Even if you're watching the replay right now, just type the word increase in the chat. Someone from my team is going to reach out to you, and This is not a sales call. I promise you. On this call, we're not going to try to sell you anything. I just want to learn what you're currently doing now, what's worked in the past, what hasn't, where you want to go, what your dreams, your hopes, and your goals are. And if I think that you may be a good fit for our paid programs, we can talk about what that actually looks like. If not, I will give you advice and direct you to some training to help you where you're at right now. Again, it's not a sales call, but I do sincerely want to help as many agents as I can because real estate has been extremely good for me. Okay, so these are things that you can do to get some of the negativity out of your mindset. All right, you can avoid exposure to negative imaging. So in other words, limit your Facebook news feed scrolling, limit your stuff on TV, trade TV for a good book, feed your mind positive things, the fuel for your brain, not the negative stuff. So if you're not reading books right now on success, I'm going to recommend a book to you right now. I think everyone needs to read this book if they're in the real estate business. And that book is called Go for No. Go for No, yes is the answer. You can find it on Amazon. When this live is over, I'll put a link down below. It is a short read, but oh my God, it's so instrumental for you to understand and to get the right mindset when it comes to working leads in general. It's not specific on real estate, but it is specific on sales. I think you guys get a lot of value out of that. Next thing you can do is make an action plan, and I want you to examine your goals. If you want to go from 6 closings a year to 15, 20 closings per year, what actions are you taking in order to do that? Do you have a system in place? Do you have what's called a client acquisition method, a way to get buyer and sellers into your pipeline? Or do you just wake up in the morning and hope you get business? That's not a business, guys. That's a job, a lucky job where you hope that something happens. You have to have a predictable system in place that is going to teach you step by step how to get clients coming in the front door. And then the only thing that you have to worry about is a conversion. For some people, conversion is going to come very natural and easy. For others, it's an uphill battle. But the more people that you talk to, the more that you have to understand the language on what buyer and sellers want and how to meet their needs, the better your lead and conversions are going to be. I can 5,000% help you with the first part, and that's getting leads into the door and getting them in at a wholesale price. I can teach you how to get leads for free. There is nothing that anyone has ever put out there online that, trust me, I haven't tried, tested it, proved it, and put it into a course. I know what works and what doesn't. The second part is where most people need a lot of help, and that is on converting. Okay, so I just finished a book, for those that don't know, called Lead Conversion Secrets. I'm more than happy to give anyone a copy of this book right now. So if you're watching this now or the replay and you want a copy of my book, just type the word book in the comments down below, book, and I'll make sure that we get this link to you. The only thing that I ask is cover my shipping and handling, and I'll give you the book for free. All right, so enough commercial announcements there. So what are you lacking in your life right now? What is it about your business that you wish that you can change? Okay, we'll share a story real quick, and we're gonna wrap up a little bit. But I want to share this story with you. I'm gonna share a story about an old dog. Okay, and this story is actually in my book. So a salesman goes to a farmer's door, knocks on the door, and the guy opens the door and says, "Can I help you?" And the salesman goes into his little pitch, and then there's a dog howling in the background. Oh, oh! And the guy goes, "Sir, what's wrong with your dog?" Man looks at him and goes, "Nothing. He's just sitting on a nail." Salesman goes back to his presentation. A couple minutes later, the dog's howling in the background again. Oh! Oh! Salesperson said, "Sir, your dog's howling. Is he okay?" Farmer says, "He's just sitting on a nail." Salesman tries to shake it off, but 4 or 5 minutes later, the dog's howling, and it's in excruciating pain right now. Oh! Oh! "Sir, what is wrong with your dog?" Farmer looks him dead in the eye and says, He's just sitting on a nail. And salesman says, well, why doesn't he get off? Farmer looks at him and goes, well, I guess it don't hurt bad enough yet. Here's the point. Most people are unhappy about their life or aspect of their life, but they're just not unhappy enough to do something about it. So if you're sitting on a nail and you're looking at 2020 and it's not exactly the way you wanted it to be, are you tired of sitting on the nail? Put down a comment below. Give me the comment increase. If you're tired of sitting on the nail, put increase down below and let me know, and let my team reach out to you, and let's see what you've been doing now that's been working and what hasn't been doing, and we'll see if we can help. If not, we're going to direct you to a place where you're at right now so you can get that value in your business. All right, so remember this: in order to get something different, you've got to do something different. Now, there's two things and two ways that you can increase your business, okay? The first way is to figure it all out yourself. And there is nothing wrong with that. But that's called the slow road, the slow path to victory. The second way is to get with somebody who has already done what you want to do, bypass the learning curve, and jump straight into the actionable things that's going to keep you in the green production zone so you come out of the gate swinging in 2021. That's what you need to get that increase in your business. You need the right mindset and the right vehicle. If you've got the right mindset and you got the right vehicle to drive, then all you've got to do at that point is put gas in it, hit the pedal, and go, baby. But you got to have those two things in place. Now, this workbook that I'm going to put down below, feel free to download it and read it. It's short. And then there is an actionable worksheet that goes along with the workbook. I want you to know about your dreams, your goals, and put down things where you think there might be areas of improvement for your life. And I want you to consider putting down a New Year resolution. Now, I know most people think, New Year's resolution, is anyone really going to do that or stick with it? You should, but it shouldn't be a New Year resolution. It should be a monthly resolution. When February 1 comes around, you need to look at your business and you need to go, how many leads did I get? How many people did I talk to? How many people did I send to a lender? How many people got approved? How many people are in credit repair? Did I like the way things went? And if I did it, what can I do different? And then February, you're going to make a couple tweaks, a couple adjustments in your approach. And then when March gets here, you're going to look back at February. How many leads did I get? How many people did I send to a lender? Did I like the results that I get? How much money have I made so far this year? And when you break your goals down to bite-sized goals, it's easy to see and manageable what you track. Most of you guys don't track. Most of you guys are doing real estate haphazardly. 100% off referrals. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But that's not a business, okay? Sooner or later, the referral source may dry up. You have to have a way of customers coming in the front door, a way to communicate with them, to close, and you have to keep them coming in the front door faster than going out the back. Now, should you be personable to the point where you get referrals? Absolutely. Something that I highly talk about in our paid programs, 100%. Because if you do leads for a good solid 2 or 3 years, you could have a very solid referral base, but that referral needs to be the butter on your bread, not the actual bread itself. You always got to be filling your pipeline with new leads, client acquisition strategies, strategies for FSBOs, strategies for expireds, strategies on Facebook. Learn how to digitally farm a subdivision on Facebook. That's right, how to digitally farm a subdivision on Facebook. So every time they turn around, you are owning that darn subdivision. So if they even think about listing, they're going to go with you. Learn how to dominate YouTube. YouTube's free. You just have to have the knowledge and know how to do that. Again, you can learn to do it yourself, or our team, we can teach you how to do that. So you are the preferred agent in your area using YouTube. But guess what that's going to require? That's going to require that if you're camera shy right now, that is one limiting belief that you may have that will be very beneficial, that if you decided to get over that, will make a big difference going into 2021. People like authenticity. So regardless if you're old, fat, young, skinny, high energy, low energy, it doesn't matter. There is an avatar for you. There is someone that's going to listen to your message that's going to resonate with you. But you never are going to hit a home run if you're not swinging the bat. So the only way to get better at video is to do video. But what do you say? How do you say it? Well, in our paid courses, we're going to actually show you that. We're going to give you scripts for everything you can possibly imagine. We're going to show you how to dominate YouTube. We're going to tell you what to say and how to say it, so there's no guesswork at all. But all you got to do is take out your cell phone, record and say what we tell you to say, put it online, and watch the results start flooding in. Now, lastly, I want to talk about personal mantras and daily affirmations. When you wake up in the morning, it's extremely important that you start feeding your brain the positive brain fuel that it's going to need and want to hit those dreams, those goals, and those visions that you had. So in that worksheet, you can actually write out some personal affirmations for you to use. You guys may have seen some of the ones in the past with a little girl in the mirror and she goes, I love my Allisons, I love my daddy, I love this, And some people think that stuff is corny. Maybe I'll put a link down below. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, just put down link below, motivational video, put comments, motivational video. I'll find it and I'll post it in there for you guys. But those things work because you're feeding your brain the things that it needs for you to be highly successful, guys. So that's pretty much all I have for today. I am so excited going into 2021. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you get your mindset right and you have the right vehicle, that you can accomplish any and everything that you ever wanted in the real estate business. That's why I am coaching now, because I decided that I was going to stop being selfish and I'm going to teach other agents to do what I've done, because I've been there, I've done that, I've got all the t-shirts. I would close 75 to 100 transactions a year myself. I ran a team. Collectively, we would do 300 plus transactions. So if you're a brand new agent and you're struggling to close 2 transactions per month, I've got something to help you. If you're closing 5 transactions a month and you want to double your production, I got something to help you. If you are looking to build a team, you want to stop altogether producing and you just want to be the rainmaker. You want to make it rain. You want the leads to come in. You want to hand them off to a team. But most importantly, you want to keep that team accountable to you and closing transactions like your personal ATM machine. I've got a program for you. If you are looking to literally dominate your entire town, so no one would ever dream about doing business with anyone but you. You want to be top of the mind awareness to the point where you are the number one agent that comes to the mind as soon as someone mentions real estate. I can show you how to do that. And it's not because I'm so great. It's because I've been there. I've done it. I've made mistakes. I know what works and what doesn't, and now I'm helping agents like you. All right. So wrapping up, if you like what you heard tonight, down below I will post the links to the workbook and the worksheet. But if you think, hey, maybe this crazy guy might be able to help me with his business, maybe he does know what the heck he's talking about, I want you to type the word increase in the comments down below. Just type the word increase. Someone from my team is going to reach out and we're going to help get you scheduled for a 15-minute triage call. Now you may say, why am I calling it a triage call? Because I want to see where you're hurting. If you come into the emergency room, I'm going to diagnose, put you on an x-ray, and that's what we're going to see. If things are working great, we're going to make it even better. If things aren't working so great, we're going to ask you specific questions because we know what works and what doesn't, and we're going to make recommendations. And for full transparency, if we feel that we have something that can help you where you're at right now, we can take a look at what some of our paid programs look like. All right, so that's it for today. I am so excited. Next Monday will be a new training. They're every single Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're not set up on our text and email alerts, make sure that you do that, so we're always communicating and so you know what's happening that morning so you can plan for that evening. So if we haven't talked before now and then, let me wish everyone a Merry Christmas. It's this week. Spend time with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Get refreshed. We have one more training at the end of this year, and then we're going into 2021, and collectively as a team, we are absolutely going to crush it. Love you guys.